Hello and welcome into the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania as we have Vulcan men's basketball for you here today as the California Vulcans will be taking on the Davison Elkins Senators. Welcome into the broadcast. I am Danny Beck. Joining alongside me today is Dylan Godet. Tonight will be a night of firsts as Kent McBride is going to be coaching his team from the floor of the Convocation Center for the very first time. And maybe also a little lesser known fact, Dylan Godet's first broadcast. So Dylan, it's going to be nice to announce some basketball with you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm real excited about it.
And last game for California, they took on St. Augustine and came away with a victory 71-69. However, there is no stats for that game, so unfortunately we cannot bring you any stats. But Dylan, getting their first victory with Kent McBride, it's great to get started.
Yeah, down at the Virginia State tournament was where that game was, and yeah, no stats available. Kind of weird talking to the SID. That's not a common occurrence here, but it's good to get their first win of the season under Coach McBride.
And for Davison Elkins, they actually took on West Virginia Tech, and in an exhibition matchup, came away with a victory 98-92.
Yeah, Davison Elkins, a school back near my neck of the woods. Yeah, they defeated West Virginia Tech in an exhibition game, which is a huge win for them. So look for them to come into this game hungry, just as hungry as Cal is.
And as I mentioned before, the story tonight is all about Kent McBride and how he can turn this team around from last season after Coach Bill Brown left last season. So next, we have Vulcan's men basketball for you here. Tip-off is next.
CUTV's high school football game of the week. Springdale at Jeff Morgan. Avella at California. Bell Vernon at Ringgold. Greensburg Central Catholic at Charleroi. Waynesburg at Southmoreland. Baldwin at Connellsville. Beth Center at Brownsville. Fraser at Bentwood. Bishop Canavan at Carmichael. The longest running high school coverage in southwestern PA is on CUTV.
CUTV News Center is California University of Pennsylvania's award-winning student television newscast. Your source for live, local, late-breaking news. Forecasts from the CalU Weather Center. The region's latest entertainment news. Vulcan sports highlights and regional scoreboards. With television news coverage you can't get anywhere else. Watch it live Thursdays on CUTV and on demand. CUTV News Center. Online all the time.
Since 1937, the Student Association Incorporated, known as SAI, has served the CalU student body by providing activities, programs, and services. Every enrolled student has the ability to take part in over 125 different clubs and organizations. Managing participation in every SAI activity is easy with OrgSync, a powerful tool for staying connected. Located 1 mile from campus, the SAI farm has 94 acres of meeting and recreational space. SAI, it's your student association. For almost 30 years, CUTV has been the campus and community home for local news, sports, and entertainment. Broadcast in 100,000 homes in southwestern Pennsylvania, CUTV provides complete coverage of Vulcan sports as well as high school football coverage. Broadcast weekly live, CUTV News Center provides coverage of local and campus events, weekend weather, sports highlights, and feature stories. For more information on CUTV, check us out on the web, friend us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.
Hello and welcome into the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. As you said saw in our open, the California Vulcans will be playing the Davison Elkins Senators here today for Kent McBride's first game here on the campus of California University. And Dylan, your first broadcast here tonight, it's going to be awesome to see basketball again.
Yeah, definitely. Not being around the program last season and then coming back this year and being able to broadcast the game is so sweet. But again, like you said, Coach McBride's first game here as a Vulcan head coach. So look for him to try to get that first win, kind of like Coach Dunn did with football, setting a new tone, what we've seen in years past from the California team.
It's definitely going to be cool to see Kent McBride, see what he can do with his new team. And for the starters, actually, we're going to get the starters underway for Davison Elkins. We have Kevin Simpson, Kevin Bracy Davis, number 3, Jordan McElvin, number 5, Wesley Sprinkle, and number 23, Rakenji Bellevue. And just like I said, Dylan, this team for California is really just rebuilt. You saw a lot of players last year, role players even for California leaving, and now with this new roster that's really going to come in, it'll be interesting to see a lot more speed that Ken McBride is bringing into their team.
Yeah, Ken McBride from another school in West Virginia, the Concord University, came here. I heard a lot of great things about him as well from people that I know back home in West Virginia, and just said that he's an all-around great coach and will do a great job with these kids.
Definitely will be, and we have the starters for California now. Number 0, Robel Teckel. Number 10, Rashawn Brown. Number 11, Raymond Creighton. Number 32, Jacob Thibodeau. And number 45, Nick Miller. And just in those names that I rattled off, there's 4 new players. The only player that's really came back is Nick Miller for California. So like I said, just a whole new lineup. Actually, no, number 23. No, number 22, excuse me, Tony Richardson. I said 32. So 2 players that are new for California here today. And Tony Richardson has been that guy for California last season with Richard Smith. But Tony Richardson taking the tip-off for California here now against number 23, Rakenji Bellevue. Tony Richardson will win it and allow California to get started on offense. Rashawn Brown has it for the Vulcans. Brown looking over to Raymond Creighton. Creighton passing over to Teckel. A lot of ball movement for California early on as Brown tried to make a move inside, and Teckel's shot is up and just off the front of the rim there, and Davison Elkins coming down the court very quickly. Shot up for Davison Elkins, bounces up, and Brown gets the rebound. California looking up. Like I said, a lot of speed for California, something that we haven't seen much, as Raymond Creighton's shot goes in for California on the board first.
Yeah, nice strong move there to the basket.
And Davison Elkins, like I said, just fast up and down the court. Tony Richardson coming down with the ball on the rebound. And now Brown writing his offense on the other side.
Yeah, Davison Elkins with a tight man-to-man defense. You can tell they want to speed this game up, and that's what they've done so far.
Rashawn Brown trying to find some space. Creighton getting the ball and giving it over to Tony Richardson. Actually bounce off of a defender for Davison Elkins. Tony Richardson gathers it again, tries to put the shot up. Little contact on that shot. They're actually going to say a jump ball, and California will keep possession of the ball.
You tell California as well, they want to get that ball in to Tony Richardson on the inside, a leader for this team playing last season.
Davison Elkins will hit the ball, on the possession arrow, and getting set ready now with Kevin Simpson having the ball, trying to find some spot to thread the pass. Jordan McElvin for the Senators, giving it over to number 23, Rakenji Bellevue. Bellevue working on Richardson. Shot is up and in against Richardson. So California's defense just collapsed on that play, allowing Davison Elkins to get the ball in.
Yeah, Bellevue with a nice tough move there. Turned around, looked like a little contact, but he was able to fight through it and get the score.
Creighton now getting the ball from Brown over to Tony Richardson. Finding Teckel around the outside. Ball that just bounced off the foot of Raymond Creighton goes out of bounds, so Davison Elkins will take over possession.
It is only 2-2 right now, but you can definitely tell that Davison Elkins wanted to up that tempo and play fast, and it's kind of getting to California early on.
Wesley Sprinkle bringing the ball out of the inbounds pass over to number 2, Kevin Bracey Davis. Davis working on Creighton now around the outside of that perimeter. Davison Elkins backing up, and they're actually going to call a travel on the play. So California just like that, and maybe a little bit of a mistake, but now they have the possession back.
And both teams trying to feed their big men here, get them going early on.
Sean Brown bringing it up for California over to Tony Richardson around that arc. Tony Richardson trying to make a move in, and they're actually going to call a charge on that one. So Davison Elkins gets the ball right back.
Yeah, Tony Richardson, can't afford him getting in foul trouble, especially with a charge there. Just trying to be too aggressive early on, like we said, trying to get that ball to him as much as they can, and there you're just a little too aggressive.
Something to mention as well, Daniel Sapp coming in for California, subbing out is Rashawn Brown. And that half circle that came in, that's new from the NCAA, so it's the spot where the defender for either side really has to watch where their feet are, as Davison Elkins' shot is up and good. Number 2, Kevin Bracey Davis with the three-pointer.
Yeah, nice stroke there from the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And Raymond Creighton bringing it up for California over to Daniel Sapp. Back over to Tekel. Tekel's shot bounces in and around the rim and out as Davison Elkins takes possession, moving the ball quickly down the court. And the shot is up for Davison Elkins. That was number 5, Wesley Sprinkle. His shot goes out, and California gets the rebound. Raymond Creighton now bringing it into the lane, and his shot is up and good. So California answering right back.
Nice move there, right through the lane, and get it to finish there.
Davison Elkins possessing in. The shot is up from Kevin Simpson. A high shot even at that, and it'll go in for the Senators. Now Daniel Sapp moving the ball quickly yet again over to Tony Richardson, finding Robel Tekel, and actually going to call a foul on that. So Tekel going to the line now.
Both teams very high tempo early on, not really setting up any offense. California did it a little bit a few possessions ago, but ever since then it's just been back and forth.
A few subs coming out for California. Just going to give that inbounds pass along the baseline. Subbing in is number 24, Mike Stevenson.
He's one of those transfers that you're talking about from Houston, Texas.
Along with number 14, Jay Tucker. Nick Miller getting the ball around the outside, handing it over to Jay Tucker. Jay Tucker moving very nicely on the inside, giving the ball over to Roman Creighton. Creighton's shot goes out of the rim. Davison Elkins gets the ball back. Trying to play defense for California as a struggle, as the shot is up and actually bounces in, but they're going to actually say that the foul was before the shot went off.
Kevin Simpson, a quick guard there for D&E. He's just doing a great job of, like you said, that tempo. He's doing a great job of setting that tempo and keeping the whole team for Davison Elkins moving.
Definitely has been a very fast-paced game thus far, about 4 minutes into this contest. And a quick shot after the inbounds pass over to number 5, and Davison Elkins gets fouled yet again. So California now just to stay out of this foul trouble, as number 2, Kevin Bracey Davis, will go to the line for the Senators.
Can't afford those box out mistakes, something we saw last season from California. They're going to have to box out better. It's one thing Coach McBride is trying to stress to them.
Bracey Davis, as you said, that senior player for Davison Elkins, somebody that they lean on a lot out there on the floor, and his shot goes out on the first. And subbing in is number 13, Teron Owens, for the Senators. See another new face for Davison Elkins out there on the court. Shot goes up and bounces in and around the hoop, as Davison Elkins actually will retain possession on that one. Passing it over to number 13, Teron Owens. He makes his presence known early with a three-pointer.
Yeah, right into the game and hits a three. That's big for Davison Elkins. They're trying to get those threes, keep that up-tempo pace going.
Trying to establish some momentum. It's either side, and a big three-pointer. That's 2 for Davison Elkins here tonight. Nick Miller at the top of the key. Passing over to Roman Creighton. Creighton now sizing up on Simpson. Taking it into the lane and hard. The shot will count, and 1 attempt here coming from the line.
Beautiful move there. He knew his defender, the defender Davison Elkins Bellevue, wasn't in position, and he took that ball right to the hole.
And there's going to be 1 media timeout, but you know, Dylan, both of these sides, as I said, they started out very fast. We're going to take a look at these highlights now. Only 10-6, but Davison Elkins definitely establishing the tempo in this contest.
Yeah, both teams very high paced. You have to set up real offense, and there Raymond Creighton goes in and makes a nice shot to put the first points on the board. And again, they're feeding the post there to Bellevue. They did that a few times, and it seemed to work there for Davison Elkins. Just too much size there in the middle for this California team. And then there's the quick guard of Kevin Simpson. Again, helping out that pace. He was able to cut in the lane and then find his man for the three.
And Tony Richardson, something to mention, looks like he thinned down a lot, got a little bit more agile in the post as well as on defense. But, you know, that's what this team really has been working on. You know, you saw head coach Kent McBride really working with his players early on in the season, early on in the semester, excuse me, just like getting them to do more training, getting their speed up. You saw them running through campus with the rope, everybody having a hand on the rope, just running around campus, and it's definitely seeing it on the court, you know, their tempo is definitely a lot more than last year.
And that's something you got to do when you're a new coach. You have to change the tempo. You have to change just the mindset that your team has. And Coach McBride has tried that. He can definitely learn from Coach Dunn, as we've been saying. Coach Dunn's done a great job of turning the team around there for the football team. And Coach Bride and Coach Dunn do have a great relationship. So see how Coach McBride can end up changing the way this team plays.
And Raymond Creighton at the line for the California Vulcans, trying to see if he can cash in on this three-point play. His first shot is up and just around the outside. Davison Elkins with the rebound, passing it over to Kevin Simpson. Down the court for the Senators. Pass it right back out. And the shot will not fall. Kevin Simpson coming down with the ball after a few Vulcans players tipped it off their hands. Bracy Davis, the top of the key.
Kevin Simpson's all around the court now for Davison Elkins, doing a great job.
And that shot will fall for Kevin Bracy Davis. As you said, Kevin Simpson is all over the place, allowing himself to just get all around the court and give him a shot. As California comes down with Daniel Sapp. Passing it back over to Nick Miller. Jay Tucker working in the post. Over to Jay Tucker, trying to feed Raymond Creighton on that one. Davison Elkins coming up with the rebound. And good alley-oop attempt from the Senators will fall for Kevin Bracy Davis.
They definitely can't afford those type of mistakes against this Davison Elkins team. They like to run, and that's what they did right there, throwing the alley-oop, helping them set the momentum in this game.
Nick Miller passes over to Raymond Creighton, a wide open Raymond Creighton. He cannot cash in as that ball fouls right off the rim. Over to Kevin Simpson. This shot will be up and fall as California will possess this ball now. Unsure of what happened out there on the court.
Yeah, it appears he stepped out of bounds there, just had his heel on the line. Now Kevin Simpson is subbed out now for Davison Elkins. See what the number 4 Jordan McClevin can do here at the point guard position.
See if they can preserve his speed as Raymond Creighton brings the ball up the court for California. Passing it over to Jay Tucker on the outside, over to Daniel Sapp. Back over to Nick Miller. Definitely some 2 3-pointer threats on the outside. His passing over to number 24 for California, Mike Stevenson, and California will keep possession to get bounced off of a Senators defender.
They're going to have to find a way to get inside this tough man-to-man defense. They're going to have to set screens and try to cut to the basket. This Davison Elkins defense has done a great job so far.
Mike Stevenson actually get his shot to fall on that play, cashing in on a mistake that last time.
That's exactly what you need to do against a tight man-to-man defense. It plays just like that one.
Dante Dolman now having the ball over to Bracy Davis. His ball will come up and tipped. We have a player come right into us over on this side as Raymond Creighton falls right into the bench. I mentioned you, I warned about that. And that first game for you, that happens right away.
Yeah, definitely. Saw how light flashed before our eyes right there. That's right onto our scores table right here.
Davison Elkins now possessing the ball, giving it over to Jordan McElveen on that inbounds play. Actually going to say he stepped out yet again. So really just knowing where you are on the floor, that's been a problem.
They definitely have to have that on-court awareness there. 2 possessions in a row there for Davison Elkins.
And now out on the floor for California, Cordell Smith, a role player, very speedy player, similar to how Kevin Simpson is out on the court for the Senators. As now Mike Stevenson will have the ball, trying to drive in, actually going to lose possession, and California will keep it. There's a foul on the play.
Tough foul there. Not sure who it was that got the foul called on them, just being too aggressive there on that one.
As you heard on that PA announcer say, that's the third team foul on the night already. It's really limiting their fouls is something that both sides are really going to have to cut down on as Nick Miller makes a move on the inside. His ball will go up and out. See California just trying to get that ball back, and they cannot. So the Senators possessing the ball now, coming down the court very quickly, as they have been. Davison Elkins foul on the play, and that was number 21, Trevor English. coming to the line now.
And Trevor English, a 6'8", 250-pound freshman from Walford, Maryland. They're a big guy there for the Senators.
English's shot is up and bounced off the front of the rim. But, you know, see Kent McBride over there just talking to Cordell Smith. You know, he's a junior player on this team, really has to step up this season and really control the younger players, also the transfer players coming in. This is their first time here on this court. The shot for Trevor English will not fall on the second one, so California trying to cash in here. Cordell Smith having the ball down the court. Give the ball over to Jay Tucker. Jay Tucker trying to feed Daniel Sapp, and he's going to keep the ball himself. And Jay Tucker cashing in for California.
Caught the ball right around the foul line. Is able to turn around and get a nice shot up to cut into the Senator lead.
And number 12 out there on the court, Edmund Parker for the Senators. Another name that you can call here tonight. Bracy Davis trying to match up against Daniel Sapp, loses handle on the ball and gives it over to number 13, Teron Owens. Owens, long shot there on the court. And Mike Stevenson will come down on the rebound, passing it over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller's wide open on that one. His shot is up and good. California, just like that, now they find themselves down by one. Davis and Elkins is forced to take a timeout.
Yeah, nice run there for California to cut into this lead, now only down by one to the Senators. Great job for California coming back in this one.
And we're gonna go to commercial now. Our first commercial of this first half as California's down 13-14. You're listening and watching to Vulcan's basketball here on CUTV.
CUTV's high school football game of the week. Springdale at Jeff Morgan. Avella at California. Bell Vernon at Ringgold. Greensburg Central Catholic at Charleroi. Waynesburg at Southmoreland. Baldwin at Connellsville. Beth Center at Brownsville. Fraser at Bentworth. Bishop Canavan at Carmichael. The longest running high school coverage in southwestern PA is on CUTV.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center here at California University of Pennsylvania, as California now only sees themselves down by 1 point. And at one time, Davis and Elkins was really taking advantage of every opportunity, every mistake from California, but California doing exactly that, cashing in on a three-pointer of their own from Nick Miller, and now we find the score 13-14.
Yeah, being very resilient. Maybe that's a message that Coach McBride is sending to his team. We've definitely seen that early on, down big early and able to fight back. Now cutting this lead to 14-13.
And Dante Dolman getting this ball into Kevin Simpson on the inbounds pass after the media timeout. Simpson coming down the court. Passing it over now to Trevor English. Edmund Parker working around the outside, back over to Kevin Simpson. Kevin Simpson will travel on the play, and California will get the ball right back.
A couple early turnovers there for Kevin Simpson. We said he was a fast player keeping this up tempo, but two early turnovers hurting the Senators.
Mike Stevenson inbounding the ball over to Cordell Smith. Smith now finding some space, giving it over to Tekel. Tekel now over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller giving it over to Stevenson yet again. Stevenson working in the lane, and English will actually come up with the steal on that play. Davis and Elkins working down the court fast. And Kevin Bracy Davis, yet another dunk against California.
And 9 points now early on for Bracy Davis. Definitely a very athletic player.
And Nick Miller working against Simpson. Back over to Robel Tekel. Tekel back over to Cordell Smith. Smith trying to feed Nick Miller. Nick Miller's shot goes up off the front of the rim and falls out. So Davis and Elkins giving the ball back. Simpson now trying to get his shot to fall, and Robel Tekel will get the ball right back. The ball will just sail right out of bounds again. Pass right at us, Dylan. I feel like they're gunning for us now at this point.
Yeah, they must be. We do have a sub in now, and Nick Miller is coming out. I don't think Coach McBride liked that shot attempt there. A little quick there in their possession, and he's talking to him there on the sideline, maybe telling him that we need to work the ball more. Davis and Elkins team wants them to run fast, wants California to speed them up, and that's exactly what they force him to do right there.
Raymond Creighton subbing in for Nick Miller, as you said. Maybe even trying to feed your teammates on the play there, as you saw maybe a few other people had some better shots out there, but Raymond Creighton, a guy that California has utilized early on in this contest. Daniel Sapp kind of finding the hole in the defense of the Senators. Now Cordell Smith putting a 3 up, and his shot looked to be good, but just rimmed right out. It's Davis and Elkins on this. Actually, no, Kevin Bracey Davis, his shot will go in. As I was saying, on that fast break opportunity, they've been very fast, really emphasizing the word of there, the fast break, and Kevin Bracey Davis yet again.
Yeah, yet again, now over 10 points. It's 11 points here early on in the first half, and doing a great job just showing his athleticism on the run there and picking up the and one.
Davis's first 3 throw is up and good. That'll bring him to 12 points on the night. As California and Mike Stevenson will inbounds the ball into Raymond Creighton. Creighton working on Wesley Sprinkle. Creighton's pass over to Daniel Sapp. Back over to Robel Tekel. Ball movement yet again. Back Robel Tekel has his shot up, and it's bounces just out. Mike Stevenson, though, gonna get the ball out and just hustling out there with Raymond Creighton.
Yeah, definitely a great hustle there by Raymond Creighton. The freshman hustling and trying to get this ball, jumping over the bench there. Great effort.
Kevin Simpson bringing the ball over to Wesley Sprinkle. And number 12, Edmund Parker, now working on Sapp. Tekel now faced up against Kenji Bellevue. And Cordell Smith coming down with the ball. Number 23, maybe some pushing over the back foul even.
Yeah, that's Bellevue's second foul here. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Can't afford that. He's their big guy. He's their threat on the inside, and now he's going to have to sit down.
California now taking it up with Cordell Smith. Smith working on Simpson. That matchup, as I said, very speedy from both sides. Raymond Creighton pass it over to Tekel. Now over to Daniel Sapp. Sapp feeding Stevenson, then giving it back over to Cordell Smith. Creighton has a wide open 3 attempt here. Creighton's shot goes out, but Robel Tekel is right there, actually giving the ball back over to Wesley Sprinkle. And Wesley Sprinkle is down on the play. It looks like he maybe got hit in the face on that little exchange of the ball.
Definitely, California did a better job that last possession in moving the ball and trying to find an open shot, and that's exactly what they did. Just didn't fall there, but if California's able to do that for more possessions, that could help them out. And now down by 6 points, see what they can do here.
It's got to look up for California, as you said, you know, getting the open shots and unfortunately not getting them to fall early on in this contest. But as I said, it is early on in this contest. They're really feeling the floor out, seeing what they can and cannot do. But the crowd here tonight is pretty decent for the first game of the season. Definitely, as you said, head coach for the football team, Gary Dunn's been getting his players out to all these events, and it seems like there's a lot of football players here tonight.
Yeah, definitely nice school spirit, and we've definitely seen that with Coach Dunn, the rival here at California.
Kevin Bracey Davis now giving it back over to Edmund Parker. Simpson having a shot on that screen, and he makes California pay on that one, making the score now 22-13 in favor of the Senators.
It's an 8-0 run now for the Senators. After that timeout, they came ready and ready to take this lead back up even higher.
Daniel Sapp finally getting to break that 8-0 run, as you said, getting that basket to fall. Now Simpson working against Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith saying that we need more pressure over on Kevin Simpson. And Edmund Parker's shot is up and will just bounce out. Daniel Sapp getting the ball, and another foul on Trevor English.
That's another foul on a big guy there for Davis and Elkins, the freshman. Kind of a freshman mistake there, fouling that far away from the basket. It's not very smart, and that could hurt them now. Now they have 2 big guys with 2 fouls.
Inbounding the ball for California will be Robel Tekel. Cordell Smith calling the plays out to his offense down there at the other side of the court. Smith working against Kevin Simpson. Smith trying to find Raymond Creighton, but he finds Tony Richardson instead. Tony Richardson, great way of working in the post, and now making the score 17-22.
I think that's something Coach McBride's wanting to see more of, getting the ball inside.
And a travel on Davis and Elkins. I believe that's the third travel tonight for the Senators, so really trying to lock that down and not allow that to happen.
Yeah, a couple quick turnovers is something California's been turning the ball over, but Davis and Elkins has been doing just the same.
Cordell Smith yet again trying to find Daniel Sapp, and this time he does. Sapp working against Bracy Davis. Giving back over to Raymond Creighton inside. Feeding the post yet again, Tony Richardson, and Tony Richardson makes him pay yet again. I think the score 19-22.
I think that's something Coach McBride, again, he's been wanting to see. Something different than the last few years. They don't have the athletes to stay running, and doing a great job working their offense.
And on that play right there, you saw a senior player for California working against Trevor English. And that time, Tony Richardson just got called on the foul there.
That's Richardson's second foul now. Both starting power forwards and centers there for California and Davis and Elkins, both with 2 fouls early.
Saw Tony Richardson on that last offensive possession, just making them pay really on the Senators. But see on these highlights here, Kevin Bracy Davis really just being that force that California really needs to stop tonight if they want to stay in this contest.
Yeah, definitely a very athletic player here. See, it's the and one here, and just done a great job showing his athleticism. That's definitely a guy from California you're going to need to try to stop. And again, there's Kevin Simpson there, the guard that we've been talking about, playing with up-tempo himself, and did a great job getting a three-point shot there.
Cordell Smith working against Kevin Simpson. I said that before, that really California and Cordell Smith has been that speed that Bill Brown really utilized last season, but now he can really utilize that with Kent McBride. And Tony Richardson, as I said, just making them pay in the post.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell that just Coach McBride's Montour, he's wanting this team to try to get the ball going on offense and work their whole offense. And there, you can check out our Facebook page, California University Television on Facebook. You can catch out all of our stuff on there. We'll have links to our live broadcast and links to our YouTube page and everything. Just give us the friend there on Facebook.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say follow on that one. So I was thinking in my head, Anthony D'Agostino just talking about, it's friend, not follow. So but definitely give us a good look on Facebook and check all of our live stuff out, as you said. And Davis and Elkins and Kevin Bracy Davis will bring the ball in for the Senators. Finding Kevin Simpson on that inbounds pass. Over to Teron Davis, over to Trevor English, actually feeding him very nicely, finding the open player out there on the court. California down in transition, and Cordell Smith getting some more points on the board. Now California only is down by 1. However, now Trevor English kind of late on that last play, trying to put a dunk up. The ball just bounces out. We have a lot of transitions here tonight. Raymond Creighton giving the ball over to Daniel Sapp, and just like that, California's up. Daniel Sapp, a big three-pointer.
Yeah, definitely now 24-22. Great job there by California, playing with their tempo of Davis and Elkins, taking advantage of it.
Kevin Simpson trying to really hush this crowd. And Trevor English throwing, I believe that was Raymond Creighton to the court. But just stopping this momentum, that was big for California.
Yeah, definitely 11-0 run now. Coming right back after the 8-0 run by Davis and Elkins, coming back with 11-0 run of themselves. That's something, they say basketball is a game of runs, and that's what we've seen early on.
Definitely has been, and that speed for head coach Kent McBride really paying off, as you saw there in transition, getting back on defense and then making them pay on the offensive side as well. Cordell Smith working on Kevin Simpson, giving the ball over to Mike Stevenson. He just could not find Raymond Creighton in the post there. Daniel Sapp trying to get another three to fall. His shot bounces just out. Good attempt from Mike Stevenson. Get that rebound. I gotta say, another travel. Wasn't really using his plant foot, it seems like, as the head coach for the Senators really just questioning that.
It's Kevin Simpson's third turnover now. It's really benefited California, him turning the ball over. Like we said, the up-tempo, you get that a lot, but 3 turnovers here in the first half.
Cordell Smith brings the ball up for California, over to Daniel Sapp, over to Creighton. Creighton now working against Teron Davis, and the ball is actually going to be a push from Davis and Elkins, and Davis and Elkins really isn't getting the calls tonight from these officials.
Definitely, that'll bring up a 1-on-1, but it just looked like a lot of hustle there from both teams. It's tough to get the foul call there, but I think the official made the right call. It kind of shoved them from the back there.
And Raymond Creighton will be going to the line for California. It's actually going to be a 1-and-1 situation. Reading his first shot. It's up and good. So just extending their lead. California found themselves in a deficit early on. And then just like that, now they're up ahead by 3. Raymond Creighton already tallying 7 points for the Vulcans. As now Kevin Simpson will be taking the ball down for the Senators.
See what Davis and Elkins can do now with a 13-0 run for California. See what they can do.
And number 13, it's Teron Owens. Attempted a 3, his could not fall as he's looking to spot up yet again. Kevin Simpson working on Daniel Sapp. Owens works in the zone, plants his feet, and shot is up and not good. So, and now number 3 for Davis and Elkins seems to be attempting threes all over the floor as there's a foul on the play. California getting the ball right back.
Another loose ball foul. We've seen that a lot today. That's what the officials are calling, so you have to recognize that as a player and adjust the way you're playing off of that.
California, I believe, will be going to the line. Or to see who will be attempting. Actually, this is going to be Robel Teckel going to the line for the Vulcans. Another 1-and-1 attempt. His first shot is good, bringing the score to 27-22.
A 14-0 run now for California, just being able to come back after being down early a couple times. Davis and Elkins had a couple runs, and now California is really setting themselves up for a great rest of this first half.
Dante Dolman checking in for the Senators. And a missed shot attempt, but Daniel Sapp keeps this ball alive. Is now Robel Teckel giving the ball over to Roman Creighton. Creighton giving it back to Daniel Sapp. Teckel attempting to drive into the lane. Daniel Sapp getting at the top of the key. His shot is up and no good. So now the Senators working on that transition. And Robel Teckel bringing down on the rebound. California's 3-on-3 now. Cordell Smith trying to put that shot up, trying to get the steal, and they will. Daniel Sapp now giving the back over to Mike Stevenson. Mike Stevenson's shot will fall. A lot of just transitions and fast breaks here paying in for California.
Yeah, Mike Stevenson, that transfer there, showing his athletic ability and getting a nice shot to fall.
And Kevin Bracey Davis trying to get that foul on the shot, but it was as he was going up.
He's definitely a guy that needs to halt this run. He did a great job getting the ball in his hands. He's the leading scorer in this game so far, and he did that right there.
Bracey Davis attempting first foul shot, and his shot is good, bringing his total tonight to 13.
Finally stopped that run there for California, slowing this pace down and trying to hit these 2 shots to fall here.
Davis readying his second shot. It's up and good, making the score now 29-24.
That's what Davis and Elkins needed. They needed to calm down to get some points on the board and try to come back in this one.
And Jay Tucker tried to get that ball to fall, and a foul on Davis and Elkins going up. So California, and that's going to be Mike Stevenson going to the line.
Mike Stevenson, a very athletic player. First time seeing him as the transfer, as we've said, and seems like a very athletic player, strong, and seems like he can shoot the ball a little bit as well.
Stevenson's first shot is up and good. And California now with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in this first half of play find themselves up by 6. Stevenson's second shot is up and good, extending their lead to 7 now. Simpson coming down the court for the Senators. Getting the ball right back. And Dante Dolman giving the ball over to Kevin Simpson. Kevin Simpson really lost his footing as there is a foul on the play on Roman Creighton.
Yeah, a little too aggressive there to take a look at the replay. Tried to get that ball inside, and they tried to get some good defense there, and got him on the arm trying to get that block attempt there.
Simpson going to the line for the Senators. His first shot is up, and it will fall. Now down by 6. Kim McBride talking to his players out there on the court as Simpson's second shot is good. So Roman Creighton coming up the court for California. Giving the ball over to Nick Miller in the corner. Miller feeding Stevenson, who gets the ball over to Sapp. Sapp now back to Miller, kind of mishandles the ball on that play. Keeping possession though, back over to Creighton in a bit of a mix-up right there in the lane. Back over to Creighton's shot from the corner. His shot will bounce in and out as Davis and Elkins will bring the ball back down the court in transition. And number 12, Edmund Parker, will cash in on the transition. Now the score is 31-28. Roman Creighton
guard him there on that possession there, and you can't leave that open, especially on a team that loves playing in transition.
Jay Tucker trying to drive in the lane. Be a foul on Davis and Elkins in the lane.
Davis and Elkins kind of bailed him out there. Didn't look like he had much going for him, but Davis and Elkins bailed him out.
And that will be the last media timeout of this half as the California Vulcans are up 31-28. You're watching Vulcans basketball here on CUTV.
CUTV News Center is California University of Pennsylvania's award-winning student television newscast. Your source for live, local, late-breaking news. Forecast from the Cal U Weather Center. The region's latest entertainment news. Vulcan sports highlights and regional scoreboards with television news coverage you can't get anywhere else. Watch it live Thursdays on CUTV and on demand. CUTV News Center, online all the time.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center as California is up 31-28. A little bit late in this first half of play, but Dylan, very fast from both sides, a lot of transitional play, and that's really where they cash in on a lot of their points.
Yeah, both sides very fast, but California seemed to get that lead and go on that run when they started running their offense and able to feed the ball there. That's what really started there, feeding it to their big man there. Tony Richardson doing a great job, got 2 fouls, but also had 4 quick points that really started that run.
At one point, California was on an 11-0 run, so California really executing on the mistakes of this Senators team. As now Jay Tucker will be at the line for California. Jay Tucker already totaling 2 points here tonight, bringing his total up to 3 now with that first shot made. Referee's kind of talking to some players in between either of those shots, maybe clarifying some discussions up why there was so many fouls called early on. Davis and Elkins, and Jay Tucker's shot will be in, making the score now 33-28. Kevin Simpson passing it over to Dante Dolman on the outside. Back over to Teron Owens. Owens sizing up Jay Tucker. Tucker trying to play some tight D against the Senators, and that play, Edmund Parker cashing in, feeding the post, that big man.
Yeah, Edmund Parker, the sophomore from Dayton, Ohio, doing a great job with his hustle there, getting the rebound and putting it back up and in.
Raymond Creighton passes over to Nick Miller. Over to Mike Stevenson making a flashy move, a spin. And his pass will actually go out, in and out, and Jay Tucker will pass it in. Or score actually on that one following the pass.
Yeah, Jay Tucker with a lot of hustle there, getting the rebound himself, just like on the other end.
Jordan McElvin will feed it over to Teron Owens. Teron Owens shot, second made three-pointer of the night for the Senators.
Yeah, Owens there, sides his man up and hit the three.
Raymond Creighton using his body on that one. Actually say there's no foul on the play. Actually, the referees are gonna call it. Actually, California will keep possession.
Yeah, that official there on the sideline was able to see that one, but again, a lot of contact there, no call, but both teams playing hard right now.
And Roman Creighton just falling on the play. Maybe some pushing on that one. Unsure of who that foul was called on, but California will be going to the line.
Yeah, both teams, like I said, playing hard right now, a little physical, a little chippy. See if the officials try to calm that down here.
Raymond Creighton will be going to the line for California. And their guy that they can lean on here tonight, already having 8 points, now 9. Creighton, a freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Very local guy. Getting another shot to fall, now bringing his total up to 10 on the night. Kevin Simpson getting the inbounds pass from Jordan McElveen. Giving it back to Simpson, back over to McElveen. At the top of the key, trying to feed the post. Decides to pull back, and Simpson now sizing up Creighton. And Dante Dolman's pass, actually will receive the pass, excuse me, and try to drive it in. He fouled on the play, giving him 2 shots at the line.
Nick Miller there on the defense, swiped him, clear foul there. Tried to just affect that shot, ended up getting a lot of arm on that one.
He knows it as well as sending another Senators to the line, 37 to 33. You really want to cut down on those mistakes.
Definitely a lot of fouls here, sending Davis and Elkins to the free throw line, and they're able to cut into this lead.
Dante Dolman's first shot falls. His second shot is up and good, bringing the score to 37-35 in favor of Vulcans. Cordell Smith coming up the court, working on Simpson, giving the ball over to Creighton. Creighton trying to find an open Vulcan out there on the court. Good defense from the Senators. Gives the ball back over to Cordell Smith, who feeds Stevenson on that one, working in the lane. The ball will be out off of Edmund Parker.
Not a lot of room on that one. 3 guys guarding him, kind of got lucky there. That ball was blocked out of bounds. Got to get your guys going there.
1 minute and 56 seconds left as Cordell Smith trying to find somebody as that time just ticked off, and Cordell Smith's shot is up in the corner and will not fall as Edmund Parker trying to pass the ball over to Kevin Simpson now. Simpson finding McElveen. McElveen working inside against the California defense, and the Senators will keep possession of the ball.
Senators want California to really take those quick shots, and California, when they're cut down on those and able to get their offense going, they were able to take that huge lead. Now it's down on the 2. See if they can settle down here.
Kevin Simpson with 1 minute and 34 seconds left, trying to control his offense. And McElveen's shot will be up and good. And it just seems like what the Senators are working with tonight. They're getting their threes to fall on the outside, and they're going to stick with that. Now up by 1. It's Cordell Smith will feed Jay Tucker. Jay Tucker's shot will be up, and they're actually going to call a foul on that play. And Jay Tucker going to the line for California now.
It's Jay Tucker with 6 points on the night. Gets a nice feed, and the defense there for the Senators were too tight. Got a little too much body there, and sent Tucker to the line.
California trying to not get back into this contest per se, but just keep this momentum going into the break. His shot is up and Does not fall, so attempting his second now is Tucker.
The center done a great job fighting back in this one. Took the lead. See if the Vulcans can tie this one up here.
Tucker's shot will be up and good. Very confident as he stepped back right after he shot it. So now Simpson brings the ball up for the Senators. Senators giving the ball over to McElveen. Back over to Simpson. Simpson against Stevenson now. Kind of a mismatch as Simpson actually splits. And right on that, Edmund Parker cashing in yet again. But California pushing the tempo, giving it over to Daniel Sapp. Daniel Sapp's shot is up and good. And California cashing in on the transitional play.
Big three there by Sapp.
41-40 with just about 35 seconds left to play. Simpson working against Stevenson, back over to Parker. Parker gives it back over to, actually gets it back. And a big three attempt here from Dolman, and California will call a timeout on the court.
A good timeout there. 18.9 seconds left here in this half. Try to set a play up. And now we're going to take a look at our Twitter handle there at CUTV_PA. There you can give us the follow on there. All of great content. We take pictures of all the crews. So you can see what goes on behind the scenes there. So, like we said, though, a great student turnout there. A couple athletes there I can see in the crowd. The swim team, some of the football players. Great to see everybody involved. But see what Coach McBride draws up here. Around 19 seconds left. Be big. They already have a 41-40 lead, Danny. See if they can get a great shot here, hold the ball, try to take that last shot and go into halftime with a lead.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if Coach McBride can draw something up to just get some momentum going to the break, as you said, Dylan. Already up by a point now. Stevenson giving the ball into Roman Creighton. Creighton coming down the court, being against Dante Dolman. Dolman, a freshman, working against Creighton. Creighton spins away from Dolman, working on the inside, and Creighton's shot will be up and good as time will expire. California finds himself in the lead, 43-40. And Dylan, just crazy play on that last one, splitting some defenders for Davis and Elkins.
Yeah, Raymond Creighton, a freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, able to take this himself. You can tell they had a play design, but he took that ball himself, took it right to the hole, eluded a couple defenders, and able to put that ball in. Great job there by Raymond Creighton.
There's something that we also have to mention, just the speed from California and the Senators. Looks like it's going to be the tone set for tonight, and California is in the lead 43-40 at halftime.
The longest student-produced show on CUTV. Is back with highlights and analysis, scores and standings, and more. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Save preset 1 for Cal U's best music. More music in the car, more music in the door, more music everywhere. This is 91.9 WCAL Power 92. The home of the Vulcan Nation, playing Cal U's best music. 91.9 WCAL. WCAL Power 92.
Back for its third season. With more live episodes and brand new games. With host Stephen Ruffing. It's the Multimedia Access Center is an open lab where California University students can work on an assignment, attend a workshop, print a document for class, or take advantage of a variety of services such as large format printing, web development, and graphic design. Located in the renovated Natali Student Center across from the student bookstore, the Mac Lab is also your home for OrgSync support and services. For hours of operation or for more information, stop by the Mac Lab, visit our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. And the big story tonight was head coach Kent McBride and what he would bring into this team. And really, the answer has been speed. Speed has been an intricate part of not only the offense, but also the defense for California, moving to the ball wherever it is on the court. See on their halftime stats. Dylan, what's the biggest stat that really sticks out to you?
I think just the number of rebounds for both teams. Both teams getting a lot of second chance points, and just California's been able to convert from the field, not really from three-point line, only shooting 21% from the three-point line, but 45% field goal percentage compared to 38% for Davis and Elkins. I think that's really what gave California the lead there in the first half, and then California being led by the freshman Raymond Creighton with 12 points, 3 rebounds. He's done a great job, 3 assists as well. Only 17 minutes of play, doing a great job just controlling the game as a freshman.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought that Davis and Elkins was taking a lot of three-pointers. And you look on California, they're taking just as many with 14, only converting on 3. But it seemed like that's really the stat that was working the most to change momentum for the Senators team. It'll be interesting to see what the storyline for this second half of play will be. We'll see if role players come off the bench. But we've been seeing a lot of Roman Creighton here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And something that really turned the momentum too is there you can see the open shot there by Nick Miller there, hit that 3 and that helped turn the momentum. But also California using their offense to their advantage there and just doing a great job slowing the game down, letting the game come to them there. We said this is Coach McBride's first game here at Holmes. Really wanted to just set the tone, have the team run their offense and just do a great job, and that's what they've been able to do. 3-point percentage is low in this game, but it was also low against Virginia State. The 3-point game is not their game right now. They just need to use their offense to their advantage, run through it, get it to their big men, and see if they can finish it out here in the second half.
Yeah, and the big man for Davis and Elkins seems to be Kevin Bracey Davis. Maybe the storyline will be really shutting him down. If they can do that, really, they can work on their offensive side of the ball, see what they can do, put some more points up on the board for California. As now Davis and Elkins coming out onto the court. And as I said, Kevin Bracey Davis just been the guy that's really been the catalyst for just getting play started for the Senators team. As Robel Tekel for California getting play started in the second half of action. Cordell Smith, the inbounds man. And Cordell Smith will be bringing up the court for California. So another thing to mention, Wesley Sprinkle working against Cordell Smith. We've been seeing Simpson working against Smith for pretty much the majority of the game so far.
And an interesting stat, Wesley Sprinkle actually played for the team in North Carolina that my cousin coached at, so pretty cool stat there.
And Tony Richardson just playing hard. And on that one, it's going to be a foul on Kevin Bracey Davis, sending Tony Richardson to the line.
Bracey Davis can't afford him to get in foul trouble there, but definitely Richardson's the guy that California needs to get the ball to.
Tony Richardson only totaling 4 points here tonight. Bracey Davis already with 3 fouls, as you said. Don't want to get into foul trouble. He's their role player for the Senators. His first shot is up and in.
Smiling there after the bank shot. As they say, the banks are open there on the free throw.
So now the next one for Richardson. Shot is up and kind of rims out, as now Davis and Elkin takes over. As I said, Wesley Sprinkle looks like the guy that's going to be the point guard here in this second half of play. Feeding now the post over for Kenjay Bellevue. And a 3 shot up for the Senators does not fall, as Cordell Smith bringing the ball up for the Vulcans. However, just a few guys back for the Senators. Smith working on Simpson now, and Nick Miller gets the ball. Motioning over to Raymond Creighton. Creighton finds Tekel now, feeding Tony Richardson in the post. Now over to Cordell Smith. Great play there, drawn up, worked to perfection as Cordell Smith gets that shot to fall.
California's able to do that here in the second half. Get that offense going, run their plays, run their sets, and that can definitely help them get this win.
Sprinkle sees Jordan McElveen right behind him, feeds him over to Bracy Davis now. Bracy Davis's shot is up and falls out as now Cordell Smith passes it over to Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson has Roman Creighton. Creighton kind of looks like he was spotting up and then passing it over to Tekel, and Tekel's shot goes in.
Great job again, Raymond Creighton taking control of this game as a freshman. 6'1", 215 out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing a great job here in this game.
Kevin Bracy Davis looks like he's in a little bit of pain, kind of limping up the floor. However, Jordan McElveen will get his shot to fall. It's kind of a finger roll. Roman Creighton now driving against Bracy Davis. And Tony Richardson having the ball and putting more points up on the board for Tony Richardson. And Tony Richardson now has 7 points on the night.
Doing a great job, just hustle plays like that one.
As you said, Rival Tekel hustle play. California now is trying to cash in on their hustle play of their own, and Creighton will cash in. Now California finds himself out to a 10-point lead.
Yeah, already up to 14 points, had 18 points in their game against Virginia State. Definitely a player to watch this season.
And the foul on the play on Creighton. But just the success that California's been having tonight, just cashing in on turnovers, mistakes from Davis and Elkins, really has to lock that down, make sure that doesn't happen. As McElveen will inbound the ball for the Senators. Finding Bellevue. Bellevue trying to work against that tough interior defense for the Vulcans. That foul will be on Tony Richardson. As Kent McBride just motioning, can't do that. Make sure you know where you are. Make sure you know.
See what he decides to do is sub him out with 3 fouls. It appears that he is subbing him out now.
Mike Stevenson coming in for California, and McBride just trying to keep his confidence up, as Tony Richardson's really been that guy tonight for California. Inbounding the ball over to Bracy Davis. Bracy Davis making a nice spin move. Stevenson coming up with the ball on that play.
Lots of
feeding it
contact
over to
in there,
Cordell
but
Smith.
no call there.
Back over to Stevenson, then over to Tekel. Tekel uses the glass on that shot, setting the lead for California.
Tekel again, 5 points here in the second half.
Sprinkle over to Bracy Davis in the inside. Davis not allowing that to happen, and Mike Stevenson just bringing the ball down. They want an injury timeout on the play. They do not, as Creighton comes down. And now they will, as Creighton's obviously in pain.
Definitely appeared he got hit in the face or something there. That could be a big blow to this California team if he has to sit out, but it appears they're keeping him in.
As Ken McBride calls in the play from the sidelines. Raymond Creighton motioning to his team. He needs help on the outside and passing the ball into Cordell Smith. Smith now giving it over to Creighton. Creighton making Bracy Davis look silly on the play, trying to put the shot up, and it does not fall. And then Bracy Davis on the other side, his dunk attempt going off the front of the rim.
Yeah, they did call a foul on that play. This is a close here. We take a look at it. He didn't even touch him there. It just looked like he got blocked by the rim there, and it looked like a foul to the official's view, but definitely on the replay we can see that was not a foul. But it is what the official called, so I have to go with that.
And Bracy Davis trying to close this gap now that the Vulcans have obtained. His first shot falls, making the score now 54 to 43, excuse me.
With Raymond Creighton out, look for Davis and Elkins try to cut back into this lead. Raymond Creighton's been that guy for California, really setting the tone in all aspects of the game right now. So see if Davis and Elkins can cut into this lead.
Daniel Sapp coming in the game for California. Bracy Davis' shot falls hit again now, bringing the score to 44. Cordell Smith just stopping Simpson right in his tracks on that play. Robel Teckel passing it over to Mike Stevenson. Stevenson trying to make that hard play there, and no call on the play as now Davison Elkins takes the ball down the court. Davis loose handle the ball. Nick Miller comes up with a steal. Miller working against Davison Elkins. Daniel Sapp had the open shot, passing it over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller's shot is up, and it will fall. California cashing in yet again.
He is that three-point shooter for California. If he's able to get going, that could really help this team. Don't have a lot of three-point shooters, but he is one of them.
California now trying to play on defense, and they cannot, as Bellevue's shot will be up and good. Score now 57-46.
When Bellevue went out in the first half, that really hurt Davison Elkins. He's their big guy. They like to feed him the ball in the post, and when he went out in the first half, that's when California took that lead.
Mike Stevenson is going to be called for, I believe, keeping his feet set too long, as now Davison Elkins will get the ball.
Take a look at some highlights here in the beginning of the second half. California coming out strong. Lots of nice moves, setting up their offense there. We've seen a couple times just doing a great job of just setting the tone here in the second half, just like they did in the first half. There's the young star, Raymond Creighton, with the assist there on the shot that time, just doing a great job taking control of this game. A second chance effort there for California by Tony Richardson. Again, the big guy getting some work as well. And then again, there's Raymond Creighton with a nice move, step through, and able to put that ball in. The last highlight here, able to find Nick Miller with a nice move, nice pump fake, able to get that shot up and in. The big three-point shooter for California, if he'd be able to get going and catch fire, that could help them extend this lead.
See there on your screen, CalVulcans.com. As Matt Keifer, the sports information director. Thank you to him and all of his hard work, along with his team, giving us halftime stats. Really gives us stuff to talk about in these breaks. But Dylan, just California really executing on all cylinders at this point, really coming out of that halftime break and using all their mistakes to their advantage.
That's something we haven't seen in years past. This team's playing with a lot of effort, and that's really what people criticized from the teams in the past, is not showing a lot of effort, and that's all we've seen so far from California.
Cordell Smith will actually inbound the ball for the Vulcans. Right in this play as they get the signal to start action yet again. Over to Mike Stevenson. Stevenson gets at the top of the key. Passing over to Nick Miller now. Nick Miller feeding Teckel. Teckel has an open shot. Decides to drive it in. And the crowd behind us saying he's continuing his shot, but the refs don't see that.
Only in the NBA, they don't call that here in the college basketball. That's something LeBron might have got right there, but not California.
Another inbound pass over to Stevenson. Giving the ball back to Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith trying to cash in on an alley-oop attempt. Davison Elkins sniffs that right out. And a lot of time for Teron Owens to make the shot, but it will not fall. California trying to catch in on a fast break. Davison Elkins gets the call on the foul. Daniel Sapp will inbound the ball for California. Giving the ball over to Robel Teckel. Teckel trying to get to his point guard, Cordell Smith. Smith now feeding Stevenson. Back over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller puts a shot up, and his shot will fall for California.
Definitely another three there by Miller, the three-point shooter again. Like we said, if he gets on fire, it'll be tough for the Senators to come back.
And Bracy Davis will try to answer with a three of his own. And English will get actually this ball in the lane. And Nick Miller coming up with the rebound, passing over Cordell Smith. Ken McBride motioning for his players to come back. Cordell Smith will cough the ball up and give it over to Bracy Davis. Bracy Davis will cash in with a big dunk for the Senators.
Definitely a very athletic player. Nothing Nick Miller could do there. Smart just to let him get that shot there.
Definitely want to get out of that situation. Really don't give them anything to feed off of, as Cordell Smith's pass just sails right out of bounds. Intended receiver, as you can play in football, was Daniel Sapp.
Yeah, a couple quick turnovers there. California can't afford that there from Cordell Smith. Something he did a lot last season was turn the ball over. If he was able to control the ball and control the possession, he could definitely be a big asset to this team.
Raymond Creighton motioning that Dante Dolman is just coming down the court uncovered. And Trevor English will try to bring the ball into the paint. And a foul called on him as he tries to just get the possession of the ball back.
That's the second time we've seen English with a foul that far away from the basket. Just can't afford that. Another freshman mistake from him. Can't afford those fouls that far away from the basket.
And now Roman Creighton coming up for California. Some subs in from both sides. And Nick Miller gets the ball, and tough defense from Teron Owens. And Jay Tucker trying to work on Dante Dolman, could not, as Davis and English gets the call.
Davis and Elkins players like that one. Maybe something they try to mention to the refs that California's been kind of wrapping around there, and they're able to get that call.
Dolman bringing the ball up for Davis and Elkins. Passing it over to Bracy Davis now. McElvin working against Stevenson, giving it over to their guy, Bracy Davis, against Daniel Sapp. Daniel Sapp playing tough defense. McElvin's actually going to put that ball up, and it will not fall. Davis and Elkins keeping possession. California trying to bring that rebound in. They cannot.
Definitely got a lot of arm on that one. Trying to contest that shot and just got a lot of arm. Actually, they're not saying it was a shot, just a foul on the rebound attempt there.
So Davis and Elkins will retain possession.
And Coach McBride has taken his jacket off. He's going with the t-shirt now. It's a very intense game.
He's ready to go. So Owens' shot is up and will not fall. Stevenson trying to get that rebound in, and he does. Bringing the ball across the court for California. Feeding Roman Creighton. Actually, good defense from Davis and Elkins. Now over to Tucker, and his shot is up and will not fall. Bracy Davis getting the rebound. Davis and Elkins will get the shot and one. Dante Dolman's shot will fall.
Dolman, California, Creighton thought that he was in position there, kind of slid under that late, and the officials deemed that a block instead of a charge there. And an and one there for Davis and Elkins.
Dante Dolman, freshman as mentioned before, coming to the line for the Senators. Referee's feeding him the ball now and readying his shot. Is up and it won't fall out of the basket. Tony Richardson just trying to get that ball back for California. It just bounced off his fingertips.
And Davis and Elkins gets this ball back, down 10. They need to get a quick shot here, try to cut into this lead.
Davis and Elkins rebounds into Teron Owens. Owens working against Nick Miller. Over to Bracy Davis. Back to Owens. And over to McElvin. Bracy Davis makes a drive into the lane, and it will fall. California slowing the tempo down just a bit now.
Yeah, Bracy Davis, that's the guy Davis and Elkins needs to get going here in the second half. He definitely led them in the first half. If he's able to get going, this team can cut into this lead.
Cordell Smith feeding Tony Richardson in the lane. There's no foul on the play there. It looks like Tony Richardson was hit pretty hard. Tony Richardson making some space for himself to work, and that ball will fall as California puts more points up on the board.
Tony Richardson showing his size there. Great effort to get the rebound and put the ball back up.
And Dante Dolman now with Teron Owens. Owens working against Stevenson. Stevenson gets that ball to fall, and now Daniel Sapp on the transition, working against Owens. So now feeds it over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller tries to get over to Tony Richardson. Back over to Cordell Smith. His shot is up, and it will fall out. Stevenson right there, though, for the rebound. They're trying to throw it off of a Davis and Elkins player. Cannot, as Dante Dolman's shot goes up and good. So now California up by 8.
Another transition basket for Davis and Elkins. They need more of those to cut into this 8-point lead that the Vulcans have.
Cordell Smith working against Dante Dolman. Gives it over to Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson giving it into the paint to Mike Stevenson. Over to Nick Miller. Sizes up the three, decides not to take it. Takes a quick shot and it cannot fall. As now Bracy Davis brings it down the court for Davis and Elkins. To be a charge on the court.
Great job there by Cordell Smith taking that charge. Looks like Davis and Elkins had numbers on that play, but Cordell Smith with a nice veteran play taking the charge and heading into this media timeout.
Yeah, timeout will have to be called. Momentum going both sides, either way. But California coming off of this break, you know, they're not executing as they were in the first half on these mistakes.
Yeah, just not able to take advantage of California's mistakes as Davis and Elkins. So
California up 62-54 now at a media timeout. Listening and watching to Elkins basketball here on CUTV.
The longest student-produced show on CUTV. Is back with highlights and analysis, scores and standings, and more. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Save preset 1 for Cal U's best music. More music in the car, more music in the door, more music everywhere. This is 91.9 WCAL Power 92. The home of the Vulcan Nation, playing Cal U's best music. 91.9 WCAL. WCAL Power 92.
Back for its third season. With more live episodes and brand new games. With host Stephen Ruffing. It's
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center as California got the inbounds pass and now Mike Stevenson possesses it for the Vulcans. Back over to Daniel Sapp. Tony Richardson trying to get that ball and handle it. Cordell Smith coming up with the ball and putting it in for California.
Two great hustle plays there by Cordell Smith, taking the charge and getting that loose ball. Great job by Cordell Smith. Like I said, he's able to make veteran plays like that. He can really help this team out.
And now Edmund Parker possesses it for Davison Elkins. Tries to make the drive in the lane and could not, as now Cordell Smith brings it up for California. California passing it over to Daniel Sapp. Daniel Sapp traveling all around the court, finding Mike Stevenson on it. Now Cordell Smith is forced to pass it over to Nick Miller as there's a few defenders there from the Senators. Now Daniel Sapp makes a pass trying to draw the foul, could not. And now Teron Owens passed it over to Kevin Bracy. His shot goes in and out. Could not fall. It looked like he tried to draw the foul on that play and could not.
Coach McBride there on the screen, you can tell he is very passionate about this game, and he's definitely transitioned into his players as they're playing with a lot of passion right now.
Clearly frustrated, and Teron Owens' shot falls for Davis and Elkins. Now find themselves down by 10. Excuse me, down by 7 now.
See what the Vulcans do. Again, slowing this pace down. But Davis and Elkins wants to run fast. California slowing it down. How they like to play right there.
Tony Richardson bringing it out around the key. Daniel Sapp possessing it now, giving it over to Mike Stevenson. Stevenson making a play in the lane, could not, as Tony Richardson as well trying to get the rebound. Fast transitional play from Davis and Elkins as their shot goes in and out. There's a foul on the play before the shot, though.
That's another foul on Richardson. That makes his fourth foul here. The Vulcans really need him to stay out of foul trouble, and there he picked up his 4th, and we won't see him again until late in this game. It's one of those loose ball fouls that you cannot afford, especially being the big guy that California really relies on. Picked up his 4th foul right there.
And at the line for Davis and Elkins is Dante Dolman. His shot is up and good. So now down by 6. Senators trying to cash in on their second free throw. Second shot is up and bounces in and out as Daniel Sapp gets the ball for California, now passing it over to Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith finding Mike Stevenson. Back over to Nick Miller, giving to Tekel. Daniel Sapp's shot is up, almost in, just bounces out, however. Now Dolman bringing it up for the Senators.
Senators can really cut this lead down here if they're able to get a shot. And there's a huge 3 there by Bracy Davis. Really, now they're right back in this game, down by 3 points.
And putting their hands up is something that Luka Andjusic, a player that California really leaned on last season, not playing held over tonight. Telling a few players for California just put their hands up. Robo Tekel's shot bounces off the front. Edmund Parker passing it over to Dante Dolman. Bracy Davis trying to attempt a second 3-pointer. This time it does not fall. Cordell Smith looking up the court, has numbers down there. Passing it over to Daniel Sapp. There's a little bit of commotion in the lane.
It's a charge there against Cordell Smith. A little too wild with the ball again. Should have just, Coach McBride was on the sideline kind of slowing him down, trying to slow him down on that play. Again, like we saw in the first half, he turns the ball over when he gets going too fast for himself. Be able to calm down and just keep playing with those aggressive plays that he makes. Again, can't afford those turnovers.
Dante Dolman for the Senators. Trying to find the open player out there on the court. Bracy Davis trying to spot up for yet another 3. Good defense from California, breaks that pass up. Bracy Davis now finding himself in a mismatch. Over to Teron Owens now as his shot goes off the front of the rim. What about Tekel? Pass it over to Cordell Smith, back over to Mike Stevenson, and kind of some missed his footing on that play was Edmund Parker, and then Mike Stevenson gets fouled on the dunk attempt.
Stevenson almost threw this one down there, showing his athletic ability again, and just got fouled. Great job by Davis and Elkins breaking up that. That could have been a huge momentum builder for California if they're able to get that dunk.
Looks like Mike Stevenson was even fouled, pretty much hitting his face as he was going up to get that dunk. But Dylan, now California only up by 3. They really have to limit whatever issues that Davis and Elkins is really executing on.
And Davis and Elkins is doing a better job running their offense, like we said with California needing to run their offense. But Davis and Elkins being led by Bracy Davis again, doing a great job, just like he did in the first half. Something we mentioned is that if he gets going, that could be really tough for California. And then Tony Richardson there, thought he got fouled on that one, but California was there to put that one back up and in. But like we said, Richardson is out now, so California's going to have to rely on another big man to guard that middle and keep Davis and Elkins out of the paint.
And Kevin Bracy Davis was really cashing in on the 3-pointers, and you don't really see that much on with a big man, really. You see that big man taking those interior shots, but showing that he can shoot as well. That's really making California pay. See on that play, much needed play from Tony Richardson allows Cordell Smith to get it up and under the hoop.
Definitely, Cordell Smith showing a lot of hustle here. There we see our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1. You can find all of our stuff. We're done with high school football, but if you were watching the high school football games, you can catch them on there. All of our replays and highlights of all Vulcan action will be there all season long.
Yeah, we definitely will, and only tonight are the men's team playing, but you see on your screen there, Abby Sporio for the women's team, sitting there with a few other teammates, younger teammates, a lot of freshmen coming in for the women's basketball team, trying to make another run like they did last season. Mike Stevenson at the line for California. Has 6 points here tonight, that making 7.
And Mike Stevenson, like we said, a transfer guy, really showing he's a very athletic player, somebody California can rely on all season long.
His second shot goes up and no good as now, and we haven't called really much this second half. Kevin Simpson back out on the court for Davison Elkins. Feeding Kevin Simpson back over to Parker now. Parker's shot is up, bounces in and out as California gets the ball, and Davison Elkins will keep possession.
California mixed it up there, coming out in a 2-3 zone, something different that we've seen. And now Richardson's back in the game with 4 fouls. That's something to watch now. He can't afford, maybe if they're running this zone, he won't be able to be in positions to foul a lot, but that's something to watch with 4 fouls now.
Kevin Simpson feeding it over to Bellevue under the hoop and just executing on that inbounds play.
Yeah, Davison Elkins went right at Richardson with 4 fouls. That's something they may have to do here, only down by 2 points now.
And now Nick Miller spotting up a 3 of his own, could not get it. Passing it over to Tekel now, and Tekel's shot falls for California.
Big shot there by Tekel, hitting the 3, extending California's lead. Big shot.
Dante Dolman passing it over to Kevin Bracey Davis. Dolman giving it over to Simpson now. Simpson makes a move inside, passes it back out to Dolman.
There's that 2-3 zone again from California, something different. Haven't ran that all game long.
And Bracey Davis trying to keep his footing, and he cannot. It looks like he put his hand down to really anchor himself, but they're going to call a travel on the play. Tekel gives it over to Cordell Smith now, brings it down the court. Cordell Smith passing it over to Tekel. Tekel into Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson working on the interior defense for the Senators. Now Cordell Smith, that lone man back for California. A good foul there, not allowing points, having those tough points from the line.
Definitely, Davison Elkins again in transition like they love to do. Got the foul call on them. They're fighting their way back into this one. Only down by 5 now. See if California can respond.
Dante Dolman at the line for Davison Elkins. Score stays 68-63 with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left for the closing of this contest as Simpson comes back in. Dolman now attempting his second free throw. Shot is up and good. Now the score 68-64. Now Tekel inbounds to Cordell Smith. Smith against Simpson. Smith finding Nick Miller now on the outside. Miller finding Sapp over to Smith now. Feeding Richardson in the lane. And Richardson will go up.
And that is exactly why California needed him in the game right there. It just helps them out so much being able to have him in the middle. A threat on offense and on defense now. Able to get him to the line is big for California.
Very strong in the lane, standing 6'8", 240. Definitely a lot more agile in the lane than last season and having a lot of minutes here tonight. Already tallying 9 points for the Vulcans this evening as Richardson approaches that free throw line. Shot is up and does not fall. For California and Tekel were right there, could not get it to fall or the rebound. It's California now on defense. Cordell Smith takes it down. Slowing down, as Dylan was saying, just motioning, slow it down. Nick Miller gets the ball now for California, having some numbers as well.
A big steal there for Nick Miller. California needed that to slow down that break.
Up now by 4. Passing it over to Sapp. Now Richardson feeding Nick Miller. Nick Miller's shot is up, does not fall. That would have been a big three-pointer if California hit that.
That was his first open shot from hitting those first 2 threes early on in the game, but California defense staying in that 2-3 zone.
Now Bellevue working against Richardson. And a foul not on Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson staying alive and California getting the ball right back.
Now That was Bellevue picking up his 4th foul. Now both big men, both sides, with 4 fouls here. See if they're able to take advantage. Now Richardson goes to the bench. They got him they gave him a little break here. Now with 4 fouls.
Cordell Smith working against Kevin Simpson. Passing it over to Nick Miller. Now Daniel Sapp possesses the ball. Over to Stevenson now. Stevenson spots up and takes the shot, and it will fall in Kevin Davis's face, really. And now Kevin Simpson for Davis and Elkins setting up their offense.
California going into this 2-3 zone has really disrupted Davis and Elkins' momentum.
Nick Miller gets the rebound for California. Up by 6 now. Nick Miller getting it over to Daniel Sapp. Sapp passing back over to Stevenson. Stevenson will get the ball to fall for California.
Stevenson taking this on his shoulders now with a couple quick baskets.
Bracy Davis attempts a shot in the lane, but not fall. Is now California trying to slow down this tempo. Passing over to Cordell Smith.
Big possession here before the media timeout. If California's able to get a basket here after a nice long possession, that could be huge for them.
Daniel Sapp drives into the lane, passes it over to Tekel. Tekel shot in and out. Pass it over to Kevin Bracy Davis now. Bracy Davis's shot goes up and then falls yet again. And the court being very slippery on that one as Robel Tekel looks like he fell after that play was over.
Both officials called 2 different things. One called it a jump ball, one called a foul there, but now we hit this media timeout.
California is up 72-64, as you said, Dylan, in our last media timeout. Listening to Vulcan's basketball here on CUTV.
Back for its 3rd season. With more live episodes and brand new games. With host Stephen Ruffing. It's
Come back into the Convocation Center as California now finds himself up by 6 and actually by 8, excuse me. Math problems, it's math problems.
It's okay, like I said, I'm now a mathematics minor, so I'll help you out on that one next time.
Appreciate it. I didn't want to express myself, but it happened anyways. California up by 8 now, so California really needs to execute on all cylinders if they want to possess this lead, and only up by 8, that doesn't really give Davis and Elkins really much time to work with 3 minutes and 32 seconds left. As Kevin Bracy Davis comes to the line for the Senators.
Down by 8, these are 2 big free throws for Davis and Elkins.
Bracy Davis gets the ball from the official and lines up his first shot. First shot will fall, bringing the score now 72-65.
Which is 7 points, Danny. Just helping you out.
Davis's second shot is in as well. Now up by 6, Dylan. Roman Creighton setting up the offense for the Vulcans. Give it over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller trying to get over to Daniel Sapp, could not find him. Now Mike Stevenson with the ball. Pass it over to Robel Tekel. Nick Miller trying to drive the lane, stops himself in midair, gets the basket to fall.
Known as a 3-point shooter, able to drive into the lane and get that one to go. Big play there by Nick Miller.
Kevin Simpson now for Davis and Elkins. Pass it over to Bracy Davis. And now over to Bellevue. A big foul there as he attempts that dunk. Send him to the line.
A good foul there. Looked like it was on. Looks like it was on Teckle there. Robel Teckle. He fouled him there. Smart foul, sending him to the free throw line.
Bellevue's first shot bounced off the back of that rim. As now Tony Richardson checks in for Robel Teckle.
And both these big guys, both teams, again, both have 4 fouls. So that's something, again, to watch.
Bellevue attempting his next shot, and that shot will fall, bringing his total tonight to 7. It's now Roman Creighton working against Sprinkle. Pass it over to Daniel Sapp. Back over to Creighton. Creighton saving it, but throwing it over to Wesley Sprinkle. Sprinkle working against Daniel Sapp, and that ball will rim in and out. Bracy Davis now with the ball. And a combination of Tony Richardson and Mike Stevenson.
And Davis and Elkins themselves now playing a little zone pushed up against California. It's disrupting California now, playing a card out of California's book, switching up their defenses.
Up by 7. California sending Bracy Davis to the line yet again. Bracy Davis having 25 points tonight, being a huge factor in this contest. Now with 26 as that free throw fell, but taking a timeout, you know, in this situation, Davis and Elkins really has to play smart. California, on the other hand, also has to play smart with Tony Richardson being their guy that they can count on in that lane to really allow them to get some points. And now he faces with 4 fouls. They have to limit that.
Definitely. We take a look at some highlights here in the second half. California's done a great job. Both teams, though, mixing up their defenses. Now, Ray made the man the whole game, and now Davis and Elkins was an extended 3-2 zone, and then California as well with a 2-3. So both teams trying to mix it up and make it difficult on the opposing offenses.
Seeing the same faces for California as a few for Davis and Elkins getting involved. But right here, you know, Daniel Sapp feeding it over to Mike Stevenson. Mike Stevenson playing smart against Kevin Bracy Davis and getting the basket to fall.
Definitely, and with the Vulcans now up in this game, look for them to try to slow it down, really work through their offense. They can't get stuck in Davis and Elkins. They're going to want to speed this game up, but California cannot fall into that and can't just give that game back to Davis and Elkins, because that's exactly what the Senators want.
Because at one point, California was on an 11-0 run and trying to get back to that impressive run. And, you know, Davis and Elkins just seems to be locking down on California's shooters, really.
Yeah, 3-point shooting is not California's stronghold right now. It's just getting that ball going. Nick Miller has hit a couple threes today, but again, I think California just needs to control time of possession these last 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and try to limit transition offense from the Senators.
That's the most important thing that California is really going to have to try to execute on, just slowing the pace down. Just trying to ride this one out. Bracy Davis has one last attempt from the free throw line. Shot will be up and good. I'm bringing the score to 74-69.
Now they have a press now, does the Senators.
Mike Stevenson driving in the lane. And Tony Richardson trying to execute on that, could not. So Kevin Simpson, puts the ball up for Davis and Elkins. Tony Richardson coming down with the rebound.
Now California just going to need to slow down here. They can't give into this pressure.
Tony Richardson trying to draw that foul on the play, and Tony Richardson coming down with the ball. His feet were just
like
out of bounds.
All over his back there. A tough no call there. But again, California, 2 straight possessions, turning the ball over. They're just going to slow down and don't let Davis and Elkins dictate pace of play.
Kevin Simpson now giving the ball over to Jordan McElveen. Giving it over to Bracy Davis. Wesley Sprinkle this time putting the shot up, and it falls. So now the score is 74-72. Davis and Elkins forced to take a timeout. And, you know, the bench for California just telling just slow down, be smart.
Yeah, Wesley Sprinkle with his first shots Wesley Sprinkle, with his first basket of the day. Again, like I said, he's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Trinity Christian. My cousin was actually assistant coach on that basketball team. Tons of talent. It's a Christian school in North Carolina. It is pour out tons of talent. And I didn't know that. I actually just looked down at the roster and saw that. My cousin's no longer there, but pretty cool connection there.
Definitely seems like you have a lot of history with this team, as you played basketball against some of these guys that plays on this Senators team.
Yeah, a couple of their guys, Logan Phillips, he's from Elkins, West Virginia. Well, actually, Colton, West Virginia, played for Elkins High School, and crazy story there with him, but just to say, in one of the games, both of us ended up at the hospital after a game in high school, so pretty cool connection there. With the team, Davis and Elkins only 30 minutes from where I live.
It's definitely cool to have that history. A lot of teams that play out east in the PSAC, we're not really going to see any of them, as most of their season occurs over the time that we're going to be home for winter break. But just love covering basketball. It's crazy that basketball season is already upon us. And that football's still going on, though. That's the best part.
Yeah, that's the thing. Football season might end up going a long way into basketball.
Now passing the ball into Roman Creighton. Creighton working against Sprinkle. Creighton, strong defense from Wesley Sprinkle will keep this ball alive. Sprinkle even keeping the ball alive for Davis and Elkins. And
Three
a foul
straight
called.
turnovers for the Vulcans. They cannot afford that now. The Senators are right back in here now with 2 free throws now. They can tie this game up.
Definitely be interesting, as that's the 4th foul on Cordell Smith as well. There's 3 players out there for the Vulcans with 4 fouls, including Roman Creighton. And Jordan McElveen's first shot is up and good. But Dylan, you're just right now, slow down, and that's really what California has to execute on.
It definitely is. Like we said, right out of that timeout, California needed to slow down, and ever since then, Davis and Elkins just been dictating pace of play the whole time.
McElveen's shot is up and good. And California inbounding the ball now. Mike Stevenson gets it and gives it over to Cordell Smith. Tie score now at 74. 1 minute and 25 seconds left and counting. Giving it over to Mike Stevenson. Stevenson working against McElveen. Give it over to Tony Richardson now. Richardson trying to find Creighton, and he does. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. His shot is up and good. It falls for Roman Creighton.
Yeah, big play by the freshman there. As we've been talking about, the freshman there making a huge play. Now with 16 points on the night. Great job. You see here driving in against their best player in Bracy Davis. He's just able to put that ball up and in, as California did take the timeout. Might see a little pressure from them here with 1 minute, 8 seconds to go. And
you mentioned their best player for Davis and Elkins. That might be the best player for California at this point. Really taking over for California. The fouls maybe a little bit troubling, but 16 points already tonight. That's definitely the upside for this Vulcans team.
Definitely here. Another look at that there from the baseline. He's able to just put that up with 2 guys bearing down on him. He's able to just make a big play. And something I want to mention too, in football is kind of eased in with a couple blowouts. Now, first basketball game we're right in here, close to 2-point game.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's very exciting. I know Stephen Ruffing, another announcer, his first game was actually at Pitt Johnstown, and it was a game-winning shot. So maybe we'll be lucky. Hopefully California is on the right side of that, as now Kevin Simpson comes down the court for the Senators. Wesley Sprinkle possessing it now for Davis and Elkins. Giving it over to Bracy Davis. Bracy Davis spots up and gets the 3 to fall. There's just under a minute left in this contest now.
Now he hits 30 points on the night. Huge night for Bracy Davis.
Roman Creighton working against Wesley. Actually, no, Jordan McElveen. Stevenson now. Making McElveen almost fall just a little bit. Now Daniel Sapp having the ball. Passing it back over to Stevenson. Creighton's wide open on that 3-point arc. His shot will bounce out, but Daniel Sapp is right there. California up by 1 now, 78-77.
Big rebound there by Daniel Sapp, able to get that ball and put it up. Huge rebound and put back there for the Vulcans.
You're talking about this is setting up a great finish, as a shot up by Roman Creighton just off the glass. And then Daniel Sapp's shot eventually falls. But as you said, Dylan, they're slowing down. They're not slowing down. They're really just putting their foot on the gas. They pretty much have to with 33 seconds left, as now we're going to see pretty much that same speed coming out of Davis and Elkins.
Yeah, but what a game for Davis and Elkins. Kevin Bracy Davis, 30 points on the night. Huge night. that's the guy they're going to go to here. If you're California, you have to stop him now with 30-second play clock. This could be one of the last possessions. See what Davidson Elkins decides to do. It is a 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
As you said, this might be their last possession. If they don't cash in, California's really in the driver's seat to the end of this one. We're going to see Kevin Simpson passing the ball into Wesley Sprinkle on the inbounds.
And California back to man here, switching it up yet again.
Sprinkle now passing over to Bracy Davis. And just some miscommunication there. California gets the ball back. Now the shot clock's off.
Yeah, definite miscommunication there. Big turnover there for Davidson Elkins.
They're actually going to call a timeout on the play. And miscommunication paid off big dividends for California, and just great defense, really. But that was really a tribute to the miscommunication from Davidson Elkins.
Take a look at this replay here. Wesley Sprinkle there had his guy and just he went to cut and wasn't communicating. They're trying to get it to their guy, Kevin Bracy Davis there. Wasn't able to get it to him. Now, California, like you said, if they were unable to score, now they're in the driver's seat. They have the play clock. The Centers are going to have to foul here. There's no time left. There's no shot clock left.
Yeah, that shot clock could be really what pays off for California if they can just keep possession of the ball, keep passing it around, really tic-tac throws, but precise throws. You don't want to have a turnover here because Davidson Elkins is known to make them pay with three-pointers, whatever, what have you. But like I said, just be smart in the situation.
Yeah, Davidson Elkins, they're not going to foul right off the bat. They're going to try to turn you over. They have enough time to try to full court press you and try to get you caught in a 10-second type of situation here. So they're not going to foul right off the bat. Look for them to try to get some turnovers, try to double team some guys, try to kind of California, because California hasn't been in this spot too many times.
We're going to see coming out on the court for California. Going to have to travel the length of the court. Inbound is Nick Miller. Referee is giving the ball over to Nick Miller now. Passing it over to Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith has an open lane around the outside, just trying to run that clock down as Cordell Smith was almost trying to pass it, but playing smart, sending Rebel Teckle to the line.
Great job by California breaking that pressure and getting the ball down. This is what California wanted.
Looks like some big guys coming in for California. Mike Stevenson along with Tony Richardson.
They're definitely going to need those guys on the defensive end. Smart move there by Coach McBride.
Teckle can execute here, making this big play shot, and he cannot on that first one, so now Teckle has to execute on this next one.
Now, if you're Davidson Elkins, you can drive right to the lane. No need for a three now. They're either down by 2 or down by 1. So see what they decide to do.
Teckle rating his second shot. Shot is up and it falls. So Davidson Elkins does have to travel down the court. See there on your screen, Kevin Simpson will be the one inbounding the pass for the Senators. Giving the ball over to Jordan McElveen, giving it back over to Kevin Simpson. 15 seconds left on the clock. McElveen working against Mike Stevenson. Good defense there from California, and that ball will fall. Now California down by 1. Actually tied, excuse me. And now Cordell Smith passing over to Tony Richardson. It will not foul. Actually, there is a kicked ball violation. The ball will stay in California's hands. Tied game 79-79. With California still having the possession.
Definitely close play there as California does call the timeout here, but wow, what a tough call for that official to make. Didn't look like a kick ball, but he called it, and California has a shot here. Tie game, 3 seconds left. This is all you ask for California.
Yeah, definitely a big game here, 79-79. You really called it, to be honest with you. You said that you might see a last point shot, last minute shot. But now we're going to see after this timeout, see what California can do. But what a game really it's been thus far.
Yeah, I'm excited right now. I love some competitiveness, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. Coach McBride is just instilling the will in this team and having them play really hard. But give a lot of credit to Davidson Elkins. They're able to fight back in this game. They were down. They started pressuring California, forced California into some mistakes. And right now, this is right where they want to be as well. 79-79, just a great basketball game here.
Definitely is, and we'll see if California can make That last second shot, as you said, Dylan, with just about 3 seconds left, as California breaks huddle. But what a way to enter the Convocation Center for Kent McBride even. I know we're talking about this is your first time, but what a first game here at Cal U for Kent McBride.
And this is where the coaches want to see this as well. They see what kind of play he can draw up. Coaches have tons of, they have their own little playbook to say, to see what he draws up here on this one.
Roman Creighton will inbound the ball for California. Pass will go up to Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson trying to make some moves here. Tony Richardson's shot will go up and blocked by Kevin Bracey Davis. And now we're looking at overtime, Dylan.
Yeah, definitely. See, they decided to get to their big guy there in Richardson, and didn't pay off for him.
And we're going to take one last commercial break right before overtime. The score is tied 79-79 here on CUTV.
The longest student-produced show on CUTV. Is back with highlights and analysis, scores and standings, and more. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center as we have overtime action, some extra basketball for you here today as they're ready to tip off. 5 minutes on the clock. But just what a way to just end this contest out. And now we're going to see overtime. But that last play going to Tony Richardson, and you're asking, was that really the right play to call? You had some shooters out here today. That first ball will go into Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith keeping the ball alive. And he'll get it back after a pass to Nick Miller. Cordell Smith now passing it over to Mike Stevenson. Stevenson getting the ball, working on McElvin. Over to Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson passes it over to Mike Stevenson, and there's a foul on the play. Stevenson going to the line.
So they call that on, that's on 20, that's on number 23, and that is Bellevue's. He fouls out on this one. 5 fouls now for Bellevue. That's a huge loss for the Senators.
Definitely you don't want to see those big play guys, big guys even, coming out as now number 21, the freshman, Trevor English subbing in, having 3 fouls tonight. No points along with that, as Stevenson's first shot will fall for California.
And speaking of fouls, California has 3 guys on the court right now with 4 fouls. So that could be big again. Both teams do have guys in foul trouble.
Stevenson's second shot will fall as well. Now up by 2, 81-79. Over to McElvin. Now over to Sprinkle. Kevin Simpson passing it over to Bracey Davis around the outside. That 3-point arc. Over to Sprinkle across the court. Now passing it back to Sprinkle. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Big play there from Tony Richardson. Now gives Roman Creighton the ball. Creighton comes down, bounces it off the glass. And running into our cameraman down there, Ryan Kaufman, staying alive.
Another great play by the freshman.
Now Kevin Simpson makes Cordell Smith jump, and his shot is up and no good, as now Nick Miller possesses the ball in a sticky situation down there in the corner. Now Cordell Smith has the numbers, 3-on-2. Slowing down play, though, allowing everybody to come back down, setting up a play.
Very smart by the Vulcans. Need to slow it down here.
And Cordell Smith's play goes up, and some pushing and shoving down there in the lane. I believe that's going to be on Trevor English.
And that's his 4th foul now. All the big guys now are in foul trouble.
Cordell Smith smart, just attacking that interior lane, really. Getting to the free throw line, and his first does not fall.
Yeah, free throws so far, California in this game now 13 for 21 on the night. Not the free throw percentage they wanted.
His second shot is up and no good yet again. And the ball will stay in California's hands. Lucky break there,
Yeah,
as his last shot just fell out.
Yeah, California definitely got that break there to get the ball back now. Up 4 points. Look for them to really hold the time for the whole shot clock here.
Mike Stevenson will pass it in over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller feeding Tony Richardson. And Tony Richardson will turn the ball over, and Davison Elkins will get the ball right back.
And that's him. That's his 5th foul now. A big loss for California.
Was an offensive foul. However, there will be no free throws attempted, and Kevin Simpson will bring the ball down the court for Davison Elkins. California up by 4 now. Trevor English making some moves against his own teammates, really, and coughing the ball up. As Roman Creighton brings the ball down for California. California now brings it up, and the ball will fall. Big play there from the freshman.
Huge play by the freshman with his 20th point on the night there with the and 1. Do you see here? Took the ball himself. Said, "Coach, I got this." Goes up, gets fouled, and puts it up with the right hand. What a great job in this game by the freshman, Raymond Creighton.
And just controlling his body in midair. Something that he's done past 2 times he drove it into the lane. Now Creighton will put his shot up, and it will fall.
7-0 run for the Vulcans to start out this overtime.
Yeah, definitely. In California now, just getting some confidence with Roman Creighton. Bracy Davis now getting double teamed from both Stevenson and Cordell Smith, leaving Simpson wide open. Does not take the shot, however. So now Davison Elkins tries to make some moves in the lane. Trevor English does not get a shot up, but he will be fouled, sending him to the line.
And that foul was on number 24, Mike Stevenson. That is only his 3rd foul. So he's one guy that's not in foul trouble. And he's a great defender, so look for him to be playing real hard here.
English's first shot will be up and no good. Still sitting at 0 points tonight, just trying to get on the board for the Senators. The shot will be up and good, so he tallies his first point in the overtime period. Now Roman Creighton with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left coming down the court for California. Passing it over to Robel Tekel. Now over to Nick Miller. Miller driving into the lane, passes it back out to Creighton. Creighton's shot is up, and it will fall. Roman Creighton just taking over the game tonight.
Definitely has taken over this game. Huge game by him. 8 points here in overtime.
89-80 now, as Mike Stevenson playing tough defense against Kevin Bracy Davis. And sending Bracy Davis to the line.
And that foul is on Mike Stevenson. Now, after he said he wasn't in foul trouble, now picks up his 4th foul.
Definitely trying to limit those fouls is something California is going to have to do tonight and even looking forward to later in the season. As Bracy Davis' shot is up and good, giving him 31 points here tonight.
And we have a senior for Davison Elkins showing out tonight, and then a freshman for California doing a great job.
His second shot will be up and no good, so Nick Miller getting the rebound. Cordell Smith gets the pass from him, slowing down the tempo. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Roman Creighton has Kevin Simpson right on his back, making some space, and he'll get the ball right back. And Roman Creighton driving in yet again. A big foul there on the play, as California rushes over to pick him up. But is that a smart foul really to give? Roman Creighton's really been the guy tonight for California to really execute, now sending him to the line.
Definitely, and that was on Stevens there. Simpson, excuse me, there with that foul. But again, I think you have to foul him. He looked like he's just been putting every basket in, and yeah, very, very hard foul there.
Creighton attempting to get his 25th point on the night. Just falls out. stepping on the scene, though. As I said, a young freshman, first game here for California, and his 25th shot will actually not fall. Excuse me, I maybe have talked a little bit too early on that one. Now Davis and Elkins bringing the ball down the court. Bracy Davis's shot will go up and will not fall, however, sending him to the line now, attempting 3 shots.
Not a smart foul there by Nick Miller. You can't afford to give up free points, especially 3 points on the free throw line. It was a tough closeout, but you can't afford to foul there.
Four fouls on the night, similar to how Davis and Elkins really attacked California when they were in foul trouble. You know, you've got to think maybe if California will attack him, maybe drive towards his side from the offensive department. Now Bracy Davis' shot will fall. Now they find themselves down by 7.
And Wesley Sprinkle is now back in the ball game. A little quick, shifty ball handler for Davis and Elkins.
Davis' shot is up, and it will not fall. Davis and Elkins keeping possession, though, and their shot will fall as Cordell Smith now gets the ball for California. Cordell Smith splitting 2 defenders on that play, giving the ball over to Mike Stevenson. We'll get the foul called on the play. That's on Trevor English. That's his last foul he can take as he will foul out of this ball game.
Yeah, two of Davis and Elkins' big guys have now fouled out, so let's see if California can take advantage of that one.
Playing tough and sending Mike Stevenson to the line. Seeing if California can extend their lead with 1 minute and 47 seconds left to go. Shot will be up and it will fall. California now. Shot is up and a great shot there, 91-84 now. Davis and Elkins trying to execute, coming down the court very fast as Simpson's shot will fall out. Wesley Sprinkle gives the ball over back to Simpson. Pass from Bracy Davis, and that one will fall for Simpson. Now down by 4, 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go.
Big shot there by Simpson.
Roman Creighton working against Simpson. Creighton just stopping, and his shot will fall. Now 26 points on the night for Roman Creighton.
10 points alone in overtime. What a great job in a key moment there for Roman Creighton.
Mike Stevenson's shot will go over. Actually, Mike Stevenson will get the rebound, excuse me, as Wesley Simpson will just reach in just a little bit and send Cordell Smith to the line.
Definitely California is in control here with around a minute to go. So see if they could just take care of the basketball here.
And California, you know, a lot of free throw work done in the offseason, but really tonight, this is all paying off. Their work in the gym. So now Cordell Smith's first shot falls. Attempting his second now. Cordell's shot will go up, and it will fall yet again. California up now, 95-87.
Big here for California. See if they can get a big stop here. Simpson bringing the ball down the court. See what they can do here. Back in that 2-3 zone.
Davis and Elkins trying to get that shot to fall in the lane. It cannot. Roman Creighton coming down the court now for California, sending him to the line yet again.
What a night again, though, by Raymond Creighton. That's a guy you'll be hearing about in PSAC play. He is a guy, only a freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big game here today. Had 18 points in their first game of the season. Now coming back here today with 26 points and counting here. Great job by the freshman.
Creighton's shot will be up and no good. And just a little tidbit of information, Matt Hagee, a former member of CUTV, was talking about Taylor Alterdice last season. Alterdice went to the state championship game, and he was a part of that team. And so he's really continuing his high school play. as now Davison Elkins comes down. Wesley Sprinkle's shot will go up. He knows right after that ball will not fall.
That's what Davison Elkins is going to need to do now. Foul California when they can. Try to force them to miss free throws and try to crawl back into this. Down by 8 with 40 seconds to go. It'd be a tough task, but if California's able to take care of the ball and not turn the ball over and hit these free throws, they can wrap this one up.
Daniel Sapp aiming up his first free throw, and that ball will fall. California now up by 9.
Extending that lead, hitting free throws will be key for the Vulcans to finish this one out.
Daniel Sapp's second shot will fall as well, now up by 10 in overtime. Davison Elkins now picking the ball up. Bracy Davis, shot will be up and fall. So now California up by 7. And Bracy Davis, those three-pointers have really been working for him tonight.
Yep, 35 points on the night, doing a great job trying to keep them in this game. And here's some overtime highlights now, but this overtime's been all Raymond Creighton here early on, just doing a great job here early in the season, making his name known as being a freshman to watch out for. And not to be outdone on the other side are the Senators there, as McClevin was able to hit that shot, and then Simpson able to hit a huge three, trying to keep them in this game. But overtime's been all California now, and all Raymond Creighton there, as he's able to drive in, get the shot to go up, and just doing a great job taking over this game. He wasn't even really there in the end of the fourth quarter, but boy, in overtime, he took control over the game.
Definitely has, and Roman Creighton, really that guy that California, looking further into the season, really a guy that they can lean on just to come up clutch in very close situations, getting them to this overtime period. And 26 points for a freshman, not too shabby.
Yeah, definitely not, especially from a guy like that. Coach McBride's brought in these new guys, and they're paying off for him. Raymond Creighton, Mike Stevenson, both guys that he brought in, and they've definitely had their impact on this game. 15 points for Creighton as well.
Now with 34.4 seconds on the clock, Mike Stevenson will inbound for the Vulcans over to Nick Miller. Nick Miller will be fouled, sending him to the line.
And Nick Miller, definitely a good free throw shooter. If he can shoot the ball anything like he can shoot those threes, he should take care of this one.
California staying back on defense. Nick Miller's first shot is up and good. Bringing the score now 98-90. Some subs come in for Davison Elkins.
Nick Miller's 12th point on the night as well.
Nick Miller's actually his 13th point, just as you say that, now bringing the score 99-90. And California, their first game last season, very different from this game, scoring 99 points. That's very impressive. Kent McBride has definitely made some changes in the offseason. And now Bracy Davis' shot will be up, and it will not fall. Guy for California, Raymond Creighton, coming up with the ball and setting him to the line yet again. See if he can pick up some more points.
Just a great showing here. As you said, Kent McBride doing a great job leading this team. You see him over there on the sideline. He's all his ties untied and stuff. He's just, you can tell he just went through a dogfight tonight, and it was a dogfight.
Trying to eclipse this century mark. Here's Creighton at the line. Creighton's first shot will go off the front of that rim. Creighton's second shot will be up, and it will fall, making the score 100-90.
100 big ones here for California.
Wesley Sprinkle's shot will be up and good. It will fall, 93-100 now. Daniel Sapp comes up the court and will be fouled by Bracy Davis. That will be the last foul he can take tonight, fouling out. This late in the game, though,
But what a showing by the senior. 35 points, just tried to do everything he could to keep the Senators in this one. At the end of that fourth quarter, as we said, Raymond Creighton really took over the overtime, but Kevin Bracey Davis out of Cincinnati, Ohio, really took over at the end of the fourth quarter.
Coming in for him is going to be Vladimir Milosevic. And Daniel Sapp's shot will go up and will not fall, keeping the score at 192. Sapp's second shot will be up and no good again. So now Davis and Elkins coming down the floor. Shot will be up and will not fall, as Jay Tucker will come down with the rebound. Dylan, I'm going to go over to camera 3 now, so you're taking over for the rest of this game. I'll see you after this contest is over.
See how I can do in these final 5 seconds. Again, just a great showing by this whole California team, led by Coach McBride in his first home game. Shot is up, and it is no good, but again, Vulcans hold a solid 8-point lead with 5 seconds to go. It'll be near impossible for Davis and Elkins to come back in this one. And no good again with the second one. It looks like Davis and Elkins is just going to run this one out. But California picking up their first win under Coach McBride here at home, 100-92 over the Davis and Elkins Senators. Just did a great job. Coach McBride there hugging the opposing team's coach and Nick Patella there. Just both coaches showing great sportsmanship. What a great game tonight. What a great showing out by the freshman. Raymond Creighton, 6'1", 215 out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with 27 points on the night. What a showing by him, and what a showing by this whole California team. Again, Kevin Bracey Davis also did a great job for the Senators as well, leading them with 27 points, but he ended up fouling out of 37 points, my bad, but he ended up fouling out of that game. But again, just a great job. Congratulating Coach McBride on his win. We do have Damon that will be interviewing him, as you see him heading over there to Coach McBride. And now I'm going to send it over to Danny Beck with the winning coach for California, Kent McBride.
What were some things you were telling your team coming into this contest?
We were really facing a lot of adversity. You know, Rashawn Brown, our starting point guard's out with an ankle. Luca, the leading returning scorer, has been out with an ankle. We're down bodies. We're shorthanded as it is. And to come into an overtime game, we did enough mistakes to let them stay in the game. But, you know, one of the messages we have to our guys, we have to learn how to win games. And the only way is to play them and to be in those situations. We made enough mistakes, but we can fix them. But what I'm proud about is the resiliency to come out after overtime when it had all the momentum. And I think we got like 4 straight stops, and that pushed it up to 7. So that was really good. With November facing a lot of out-of-conference opponents, what are you looking forward into December and facing a lot of in-conference opponents? You know, we understand the PSAC is going to be a really physical league, so we have to get better defensively, and we have to get better rebounding. I know at one point after, I think, regulation, we'd given up 18 offensive rebounds. That's just not going to do it in the Pennsylvania Conference. So we have to get better at that. But we knew that going in. Our whole thing is we want to be, we're shooting for January, February, new coaching staff, all new players. So it's going to take time, but it's always better when you win. And part of that is we have to learn how to win, and we are. Definitely. Well, very impressive victory. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great season. I'll see you later on in the season. Sir. Thank you. Appreciate it, Danny. Yep. Sending it back to you, Dylan.
And thank you, Coach McBride, for that. And that, again, you heard it there from him. California with the win, 100-93 over Davis and Elkins. Thank you guys for watching, and congrats to the Vulcans.